Hello everyone, I am Shutapa Datta. Welcome to my channel Shutapa's Biology. Hi guys, before starting the today's topic, I want to suggest you something that you must watch the complete video as it's very important for you for your board exam and as well as competitive exams. So please watch the complete video to get all the informations completely. And my today's topic, which is given in the NCERT book 12 NCERT book in the 6th unit and 3rd chapter. 6th unit, 3rd chapter. So starting the human reproduction, under the human reproduction, the male reproductive system. Again I am telling you to watch the complete video to get all the informations. Male reproductive system. In my last video I have told you that in the male reproductive system the primary sex organs are a pair of testes. Now about the testes, pair of testes are there. These are oval soft bodies which has the length, soft and oval bodies. They have the length is 4 to 5 centimeter and width 2 to 3 centimeter. The most important thing about this that testis is extra abdominal organ. What's the reason about that? For behind this, that the testis can't produce the sperm. Actually, the main function of testis is to produce the sperm. After puberty, it can produce the sperm in males, and it can't produce the sperm at the body temperature. It needs 2 to 2.5 degrees centigrade temperature less than the body temperature. What's the temperature? 2 to 2.5 centigrade less than our body temperature. Otherwise it can't produce the sperm. Now testes inside the mother's womb or during the development of the fetus, they are produced from the mesoderm. Mesoderm is the germinal layer of us. From mesoderm gives rise the testes. And after formation of it inside the mother's womb during the fetal development, they after their complete development they descend down to the scrotal sac. Now in scrotal sac, so after birth, when we can see the male baby or male child, they have their testes in the scrotal sac. Now what's the material of the scrotal sac? Scrotal sac is a thin fibrous but elastic layer which is made up of muscle, dartos muscle, and it has 2 chambers for the 2 testes. They are separated from each other internally by the septal scroti. The 2 testes, they descend down after development to the scrotal sac, and they remain separated from each other by an incomplete partition, and that's known as septal scroti. Incomplete partition is partition of scrotum is septal scroti. It's made up of 2 things, that is dartos muscle and spermatic fascia. The septal scroti or the internal septum of the scrotal sac, is made up of dartos muscle spermatic fascia. And from the outside of the scrotum, another line is found which indicates the two testes, number of the two testes, and that's known as raphe. So raphe is the line from outside of the scrotum. All these were very important for your competitive exam. And now I am coming to that how the testes will come to the scrotum. How the testes will come after development, they comes to the scrotal sac, they descend down to the scrotal sac and through a passage which is known as inguinal canal. The canal is known as through which the testes descend down to the scrotum is known as inguinal canal. Inguinal canal, which help to descend down the scrotum, descend down the testis from abdomen to lower abdomen to scrotal sac. Now in some cases I am telling about some clinical conditions which are very important for your NEET. That is, number one is that is cryptorchidism. Cryptorchidism, due to some problem, in some babies the testis can't descend down, and that's known as cryptorchidism. Now it has the surgical remedy. Just after birth, it can be it should be cured. And another thing is that cryptorchidism, and another is polyorchidism. Polyorchidism is another thing which is very rare, yet in total world only 200 cases are found in this. That is the polyorchidism. The cryptorchidism patients, they can't produce the sperm, as the sperm can't descend, the testis can't descend down. But in polyorchidism, they can produce the sperm, but they have more than two, that is 3 testes they have. And due to presence of 3 testes, they have no problem in the sexual reproduction, but sometimes they feel uneasy for this or pain in the lower abdomen. So this is known as, these are the clinical conditions for the testis. Now after that I am coming to the internal structure of the testis. Before that I am telling that the testis, if we go through the LS of the testis, then we can get the inside the testis there are 2 kinds of cell. One is tubular cell, that is seminiferous tubule, which is the main cell for production of sperm, and another is interstitial cells, and from that interstitial cells of Leydig, they can produce the testosterone. So this is the main cells in the testis. These 2 types of cells are there. One is seminiferous tubule and another is interstitial cell, and both have the important function as production of gamete and production of hormone testosterone. And other than that, testis is extra abdominal, so it should be protected properly, and that's why it has 3 layers, 3 concentric layers by which the testis remain surrounded, and those are, I am telling about the names and I am giving the diagram also. Okay. So I am drawing here the LS of testis. These are the layers, concentric layers. The outermost one is blue, innermost is red, and in between these two the green line is there. So these are the layers successively. I am giving the names of them. Before that, I am drawing a structure. In this way, these layers are known as, the innermost one is known as tunica vasculosa, as it's rich with blood vessels, and it can give the nutrition to the sperm, developing sperm. Tunica vasculosa, then tunica albuginea, and lastly the tunica vaginalis. In case of ovary, you will not get these types of 3 layers, as ovary is not extra abdominal, it remains inside the abdomen. Another thing is that the seminiferous tubule, they are present in the lobules. Within the lobules they are present, and in this manner there are many lobules. And inside each lobule, 3 to 4 seminiferous tubules remain. So these are the seminiferous tubules, and here some group of cells are there. These are the interstitial cells, and some group of cells are present here which are known as Leydig cells, which can secrete the testosterone. And from here another structure is found which is known as retitestis. It's a net-like structure, network, by the union of the seminiferous tubule, and then some straight tubules arise from that. Retitestis is known as vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia, which again get coiled here in this structure. It's known as epididymis. So these are the seminiferous tubule. Interstitial cells of Leydig cell are producing the hormone testosterone, and this is known as retitestis. These are known as vasa efferentia. Vasa efferentia, and after that the epididymis. Epididymis is divided into 3 parts. That is the topmost of it's known as caput epididymis. Caput epididymis. Then the middle one is known as corpus epididymis, and the last one is known as cauda epididymis. Cauda means tail. So cauda, 3 parts are there in the epididymis, that is caput epididymis, corpus epididymis, and cauda epididymis. The role of the epididymis is to mature the sperms as well as concentrate the sperms. And this is known as vas deferens. This vas deferens goes from here to the lower abdomen to meet with the penis, and this vas deferens is in another word it's known as spermatic duct. How it forms the spermatic duct? By uniting with the spermatic duct uniting with the cremaster muscle plus nerves plus vessels, blood vessels. So this form the spermatic duct. Now another thing I have to tell, that through the inguinal canal, when the two testes they descend down, then they remain connected with the remain connected with the abdominal cavity by spermatic duct or vas deferens, and only that part is that part remain open. Other than that, the complete passage of the inguinal canal get filled up by connective tissues, and if anything any portion or any aperture is left over there, so in age of the males, that is in old age of the male, when their body get flaccid, that time the intestine, small intestine, is very coiled, we know it's very coiled structure, and it remains just near the lower abdomen, so it can enter through that perforation or that blank place and can cause the clinical condition known as inguinal hernia. Inguinal hernia, which has no other remedy other than the surgical remedy. It has, so inguinal hernia is a disease. Inguinal hernia in male at old age, after 50 or 60, it can take place. This is the clinical condition, and it has only surgical remedy. Now this is about the LS of the testis, and in case of the TS of the testis, we can get the Sertoli cells. If we take the TS of the testis, we shall get that the seminiferous tubules, they are round structure, disc-like structure. And these are the germinal epithelium present at the outside of the seminiferous tubule, where from the sperms are produced, that is from the germinal epithelium. As sperm is the germinal cell, so it can produce from germinal epithelium. We can get some large, almost pyramid shaped cells which embedded within the germinal epithelium, and these are known as the Sertoli cells. These are the Sertoli cells. Blue colored large cells are known as Sertoli cells. What's the function of the Sertoli cell? They have big nucleus also. The immature sperms remain embedded inside the Sertoli cells. They they just insert their head inside this Sertoli cell. That is, these are the immature sperms. They insert their head inside the Sertoli cells, and after maturation they get released from the Sertoli cells, and that procedure is known as permeation. It's very important, mind it. The procedure by which the mature sperms release from the Sertoli cells, that is known as permeation, and that takes place after the puberty of the male only. releasing of sperms, mature sperm, sorry. Mature sperms from the Sertoli cells is known as spermation. Spermation. Okay. So matured sperms are released from here. These are the matured sperm. And these are the immature sperm, the green one, black one. Mature sperm and immature sperm in this way. Okay, now this is about the TS and LS of the testis. Now I am going to the next one, that is duct system of the male reproductive system, that is epididymis. From the seminiferous tubule unite to form the rete testis. After that vasa efferentia, then epididymis, and then the vas deferens. This is about the duct system, and the function of this I have already told you, that epididymis help to concentrate the sperms, and vas deferens carries the sperms from there to up to the penis, to the genital organ. And another thing is that there is some muscles and blood vessels and nerves which remain associated with the vas deferens to form the spermatic duct. Now after that, the male reproductive glands. Reproductive glands. Male have 5 reproductive glands. Reproductive glands. 5 in number. Number 1 is seminal vesicle, most important one, seminal vesicle, 1 pair in number. Number 2, prostate gland, single in number, single. And number 3, Cowper's gland, or bulbourethral gland. One pair. So this is the 5 number of 5 glands. Now seminal vesicle is the main gland which produces the semen, which gives the milky part to the semen, and milky or liquid part of to the semen. And it's lobulated in structure and placed just below the ejaculatory duct. And prostate gland just behind the urinary bladder it remains, and it's a pyramid shaped large gland. And prostate gland gives the another thing of in the seminal vesicle, that inside the secretion of the seminal vesicle, the main thing is fructose is there. Fructose which helps to give the nutrition to the sperm, and fructose is there, as well as prostaglandin is there. Now function of the fructose is to give nutrition to the sperm, and prostaglandin helps to increase the contraction of the uterus during copulation. And during rape case, by the presence of the fructose, the forensic department can trace the phenomena of the rape. So this is inside the seminal vesicle. In prostate gland gives 30% of the liquid part of semen, and it gives the slippery fillings, or help in the it's just mucus like help in the slippery movement. And in Cowper's gland they have no such important function, just they give the characteristic odor to the sperm. So this is about the seminal vesicle, prostate gland and Cowper's gland. Here also another thing is there, that is the prostatitis, which is another clinical condition. Prostatitis. This is the clinical condition of the males in age of in mature age or in old age problem, where the prostate gland become enlarged, and here is also the remedy is surgical remedy. So you have studied many clinical conditions also which are very important for your competitive exam, and about the total male reproductive system. And I think that's all for my today's video.